I tried to drink lots of water and have cough drops constantly to try to save my voice.
How many panels did you speak on? I saw two.
Yeah, one was the main. I was going to go through it during my segment, but one was the main panel, and the other one was just an impromptu where they wanted to do a quick interview and ask me some questions. So another little group. I was shilling the group leader. It's like a metaverse group, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "Hop on, we're live right now. Go ahead." I'm like, "Of course, I'm not gonna pass up that opportunity."
That's awesome. That's awesome. What generally did people like the game and what we're building?
Yes, there was a lot of good feedback. I was glad to hear that there was a lot of people that said that they were keeping an eye on the project and they're excited about it. And yeah, it's good that people have heard of us, because some of the other events I've been to, it's completely new and I have to tell them everything. So it's nice to go to an event where the people are watching. They're watching us on the sidelines, sitting back and waiting, and um, yeah, nothing but good feedback about the project from a lot of different people that knew about us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, most of my segment today is kind of geared towards the game as well. So there's going to be a lot of cool information I'm going to be putting out there today.
Awesome. I can't wait.
There, oh, there we go. I think that's Steve. He's on.
Good evening.
And
I am.
good evening. I think we're waiting for Benji.
Yep, hopefully he'll be on in a minute.
Right. Well, a big thanks to everyone. Yeah.
I see Matt.
I don't see a face off.
I see Matt Blom on here. I just realized I didn't reply to him. So Matt, if you can hear me, sorry I didn't reply. Let me get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. Like, guys, I get a lot of DMs on Telegram. I try to keep up with replying to as many people as possible. But when there's like 10 dog lords DMing you, you just have to like kind of swift through it all the time.
Exactly. Right, are we waiting on?
Just another reminder. Did
Me.
everyone reshare this space?
Yeah, please do, everyone.
And we've got Paolo on, right?
No, that's me.
Yes,
I'm not Paolo this time. I'm hosting this.
So maybe we get ready to announce the winner for the giveaway. And we've got Benji as well, I think.
Do we do that now?
Yeah, I think if we've got the winner ready to announce.
Yeah, Paulo actually sent it to me, all the information and stats, because he said where he's at, his connection is bad. So he went ahead and did the drawing and gave me all the stats. If you guys want to do it now or wait till later in the segment, I have everything.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's announce the giveaway winner. I don't see Benji here yet, so why not? Let's go ahead and start with the good stuff.
Are the drum music ready?
Drum roll. There's AD. All right. So the stats for this past week's giveaway, there were 630 comments, 643 retweets, 697 likes, and 578 valid entries. And the winner is at S. Svetlania.
Congratulations, F. Svetlan.
Who did? I was gonna say, who did that? I wasn't expecting
That
that.
was me.
Okay.
That was horrible.
I had to do that.
Who's the winner again?
It's S. Svetlania.
Svetlania. Well, if you're hearing this or you're hearing this on a recap, congratulations! You just won 100 billion in Bezoge coins.
Yeah. So congratulations to Estelania.
Trying to
Svetlana.
see. Yeah, I'm trying to see, but I don't see them here, or see her here, or him.
It's probably her.
Okay. If
Cool.
if you do come on,
I see Benji.
please say hello. Is Benji here?
I do see Benji here, but I don't see him as speaker.
Okay.
I just invited him to speak.
Okay, Benji, are you here?
I think while Benji comes on board, why don't you? I don't know why, but I keep going on mute every time. I was saying while Benji comes on board, why don't Zach you start with the
God.
Yeah.
I tell you what, should I
keep going
should
on
I
mute,
start
I
with
don't
That's
marketing?
happened to me before.
I'll
It's the
start
most
with-
frustrating thing. So I feel your pain, Dog Lord.
Well, I'll start because definitely Shahid and has most of the exciting announcements and news today. So I'll kind of kick it off. Noticing from the last 2 or 3 segments that were held in the space by me, I noticed information has been very key, and generally a lot of questions come in regards to either the token or the Legends of Bezogia, the MMORPG game itself. So last week I defined a lot of things about Bezoge token, so that people could understand the expansive use of Bezoge token, from utility, reward, incentives, as well as the DeFi elements that are going to be kicking in. This week, I'm planning to kind of go over information about Legends of Bezogia itself. Just a note to the community, there is information on our wiki, but a lot of it's getting redefined, and there is a publication of white paper that's going to be releasing very soon. And this would help a lot of people actually understand the information. So I'm just going to go over in summary the information that's going to be on that white paper. So it's going to make it easy for everyone to understand the details of Legends of Bezogia and what they can expect to read. However, you guys are welcome. A lot of the information is there on our wiki as far as Legends of Bezogia and its technical details and its mechanics are concerned. I'll just go over very quickly today in just a short few minutes, because I don't want to hold back Shahid's segment today, on what you guys would be expecting in that white paper. So, generally speaking, first, to begin with, Legends of Bezogia is going to be very unique in its offering on the earning and the playing mechanisms, right? What we like to call play to earn 2.0. So Legends of Bezogia is going to be introducing a next generation concept of play to earn, right? This is by redefining user engagement and participation away from traditional methods that are currently in use. So we've mentioned this again and again, that by looking at the current state of the industry right now, play to earn games have way too many barriers of entry. Whether it's detailed knowledge of crypto, whether it's ownership of NFTs, in-game assets like tokens, this gets very complicated for the average gamer. So Legends of Bezogia is going to disrupt this whole model, right? Because we're implementing a mixture of both rent to earn and play and earn, right? Users can just create in-game wallets, choose in-game characters that are available from a rental pool where NFT owners have placed them for use by anyone who wants to play it. So this is an instant way to start playing, start having fun, and receiving rewards as a byproduct. right? It's the rewards itself, whether it's magical blocks, whether it's weapons, whether it's skins. Once these have been acquired by the player, they'll be recorded on chain at the time of withdrawal. So this is going to be detailed out in our white paper. We're going to talk about the magical blocks itself. So the magical blocks are the general blocks, and within that magical blocks, there'll be 8 different types of blocks. I know a lot of this information some of you guys might already know, but I'm just going to go over it very quickly. So there'll be 8 different types of blocks, each representing a different attribute, whether it's red for attack, yellow for speed, blue for shield, green for HP. Well, since I've said them, I'll just say them all. White for healing, orange for FUD, black for summoning, and gold for minting. Okay, so that's going to be in our white paper as well. Generally, there's another question that comes up, which is about summoning. So we'll be talking about the summoning of the Bezoges and the selling of those Bezoges, whether they're in the bull market, which is the marketplace inside Legends of Bezogia, whether it's on the marketplace in our website or third-party platforms. What we'll also be talking about is the minting of in-game items, as well as the selling of those items, in the same way you would do with your Bezoges. Another aspect would be the winning of blocks in Bezoge from in-game player versus player competitions. There'll also be a section about the renting of Bezoges, which we like to call de-rent or decentralized rental. Moving on, the most important aspect, which I think a lot of you guys haven't seen and it hasn't been published, would be the tokenomics. So unlike Bezoge, which was pre-mined 100% and distributed, the tokenomics of blocks would run a bit differently. They would be on a linear release over a very long period of time. This was the team's attempt to make sure that we don't create any kind of inflation of in-game blocks, as well as ensure that the value proposition keeps increasing. So you guys can look forward to seeing the tokenomics, the allocations, and the release schedule as well. Summoning costs would be mentioned, royalties would be mentioned, and as we discussed last week, and I'm just going to go over this quickly because a lot of people did ask questions privately and in public groups about what are the in-game perks for Bezoge token holders. So last week we discussed about how Bezoge and the blocks will have a very intimate connection when it comes to the ecosystem, with Bezoge being the peg. But just to give you guys a quick idea without giving too much away, some perks that are either decided or being decided would be access to like early alpha or beta releases and game updates. You would also have Bezoge holder only kind of items like skins or other in-game items. You would, as a Bezoge token holder, receive discounted summoning and minting costs as well, shorter cooldown periods after you summon, as well as there would be discounted NFT trading on the Bezoge NFT trading platform. So, for example, a certain percentage is charged for trading NFTs on a third-party marketplace. If you were a Bezoge token holder, you'd actually get discounted trading fees on the Bezoge NFT trading platform. So these are just some of the in-game perks that would be exclusive to Bezoge token holders. And that's just the in-game part that we discussed from last week. Apart from that, obviously, there would be governance, which means that if you're a Bezoge holder, when it comes to certain decisions about the directions of the key game mechanics, let's say banning or unbanning of certain players who've been caught cheating, these votes can be carried out by Bezoge holders. We're mostly looking at weighted averages so that large holders cannot influence the vote in any, shape or form. Beyond that, I mean, when it comes to minting, the minting costs, you'll also be what you've seen on the wiki already. You'll hear about the minting RNG a little bit more redefined in detail. For those of you guys that don't know what RNG is, it's random number generation or random number generators. This keeps it exciting. And the reason we included randomization was to increase the excitement when you're minting items, right? I guess, Steve could detail that out more. If you guys have a question after the AMA, maybe you can ask a little bit more about the randomization and its importance and why and how it works. The same thing with summoning. Summoning costs will be redefined, and the summoning RNG or the randomization will be discussed more in detail. When it comes to summoning, obviously there's a lot of randomization when it comes to the Bezogis. A lot of you NFT holders already know rarities or attributes are the nose, the eyes, the fur highlights, the fur itself, and so on and so forth. Another thing a lot of people have been asking, and we're trying to start publishing on that as well, are the enemies. So there's going to be more publications about the enemies, about the origin blocks. The breeds are already mentioned. You guys have read all them. Well, if you haven't, do go to Medium. You can read all the articles about the different breeds, their attributes. In case you're looking to buy any NFTs or Bezogis, this would be very helpful with your particular gameplay and game style to choose which Bezoge is best for you. And generally, I think that's pretty much it. There is a couple of more sections, but I would rather keep that as a surprise for you guys. Weapons, right. There would be more about weapons. There would be more about the wearables. Oh, yes. And most importantly, the land. So we will be discussing the land items, and the last part obviously would also be the staking, the DeFi components, and the integration, whether it's in-game decentralized exchanges or integration and partnerships with centralized exchanges. So these are majority of the things that will be discussed in the white paper. You'll also have at the end of it the boring stuff like the technicals, the hardware, specs, configurations. And yes, we will also be detailing out our team. So the team has grown a lot. So we'll be detailing out the team so people will start understanding the power of how big and extensive the resources are. So people will be able to also understand the full scale of the team as it keeps growing. I think you've been adding more people this week as well. So that's also another thing that will be detailed. This white paper is definitely expected very soon. You guys can possibly expect it published if by next week at the earliest. If not, at least by the end of the month, it's going to be there for the public to see. Saying that pretty much comes to the end of what my segment is. There is a few things about influencers and certain things, but I'll let Shahid take over and maybe he can discuss that further. Shahid?
Yeah, thank you very much for the detailed insights on the white paper. Even for me, as obviously the white paper content gets produced, the first thing I'll be doing is making sure all the websites updated, all that content shared, and we break that content down into digestible chunks. So one of the things I want to talk about today is an initiative that began early to mid last week, and with a big thank you to Bobby. So thank you for taking the charge. But the non-fungible games, something we've got participation in with 9 or 10 great other projects, Tripsters, Hape, Loveless City, just to name a few, and they've got huge communities. And the thing is, a lot of these communities are at different paces of their journey. Some of them have got, they've kind of started community first, a little bit of roadmap second, development, metaverse third. We've kind of gone a different approach. We've gone metaverse first or memeverse first. So we're pretty advanced on the development side of things, but it gives us great exposure and a great chance to learn from each other. And I think one of the first things to kick it off would be Smash Cards. So within the Bezoge community, we're already looking for 10 keyboard warriors. Hopefully, a lot of you should be pretty good, considering the keys for Smash Cards are exactly the same as in game. But yeah, we're looking to run an in-house competition within the Bezoge community. We'll define some rules very quickly with Carrie, release that out tomorrow. And then I think by the 16th or 17th of April already, I think coming up this weekend, we'll have, or yeah, 16th, 17th, we'll have the first competition. So depending whether or not Bezoge community and our top 10 will be in that first competition, I want to make sure we're fully prepared and we kind of show what these other communities, what we're about. So that's something really super exciting to look forward to, and a big thank you to again to Bobby for leading the charge on that and introducing the Legends of Bezogia team to the family. Really, really super exciting to be able to speak to to Tripsters and like I say some of those other communities. So I'm super excited. So that would be the first update. The second update would be on the influencer campaign. So we mentioned last week that this kind of goes way beyond a conventional collaboration or partnership. And I think today would be kind of an exciting opportunity to announce that the Bezoge family is going to extend. So think of it as Bezoge's getting a cousin. So this collaboration will eventually form into integration in game. And we're working out some of those technical components. But yeah, not only will there be integration in game, there'll be very special traits and or weapons in this expansion within the Bezoge family. So something super exciting. And based on what we have and kind of where we are, honestly, I'm completely blown away. I can't wait to introduce the brand new family member to the Bezoge community and really to the NFT space and the world. So something
I think that's gonna be a tough one to get your hands on as well.
Oh,
Maybe
completely.
very limited.
I wasn't even going to go into the numbers yet. I was going to kind of save that for maybe a few little drip pieces this week. But it's going to be an extremely exclusive expansion in family. So this isn't like an extended family. This is like a one cousin, very small family. So so a limited amount of opportunities, and obviously if you're part of the Bezoge community and family, that there are going to be perks. So we will be looking at kind of giving exposure to also the non-fungible games community. So a lot of those various communities, we want to spread the love. So yeah, super exciting in terms of what's upcoming. Next week, we'll probably look to give you a little bit more in terms of mechanics and info. And then very soon there will be the release activation. So yeah, very exciting that this goes really beyond, like I say, a conventional. It's not a YouTube partnership or anything like that. It really goes hand in hand with kind of our ecosystem. When we look at things and partnerships and forming relationships with whoever they may be, we're looking at long-term collaborations. So if it means it takes a little bit longer to get the deal done, or to get the fine detail ironed out, so be it. If it means that it's a much longer relationship, and this is great for us, great for the community, and super exciting to work on and announce.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we do have the progress there on the influencer side of things on the YouTube side as well. I
Oh,
believe
completely.
I know the team has been reaching out to a lot of influencers, and we're beginning to start to make relationships with them and actually plan potential partnerships with YouTube influencers as well in the crypto space. So it's not to
Absolutely.
say that we're not doing that as well. It's ongoing at the same time in parallel, and we will most likely alongside this influencer promotion and partnership also run some promotions with YouTubers at the same time to really reinforce the partnership with that we have coming up as well. So the marketing aspect will be coming on both sides, not just the one influencer.
Yeah, I think, and like I say, just launching the non-fungible games and being able to be part of the amazing community, it's just amazing exposure. So it's just at the right time, and like I say, just some great things to come. In addition to kind of what Jeff mentioned on the influencers, even beyond YouTube, looking at certain programming. So a great suggestion from the community again in terms of some local programming within the Philippines and certain target markets. So already outreach has begun in terms of forming some of those partnerships. So a lot of conversations behind the scenes in the last week or so. On the influencer stuff, like I say, super exciting. I do believe Carrie's made some really successful attempts in terms of outreach and some meetings we've got scheduled for this coming week. A few other updates. We had obviously the website release last week. You guys have had a week or so to really absorb the new site. Something I'm incredibly proud of. There's a lot more to come. As we've probably got 15 templates done, all device types that literally we just need to get them coded out one by one. So the next priorities for the website are language expansion. Very quickly, I'll move on to e-commerce. And alongside that, we're also working on Bezogia. So Bezogia is also going to get an upgrade or a refresh. That'll be a technical upgrade. And that allows us...
Bezoge.com, right?
Yeah, Bezogia.com, absolutely. So Bezoge.com has already had the refresh. Bezogia.com is next, and we're currently in the wireframing stage. So I'd anticipate by next week, all designs will be complete. And I'd say probably 2 to 3 weeks before that technical upgrade is complete. So that's a lot more confident in terms of timing based on what we've already been able to deliver on the current site. So a lot of exciting things to come for Bezogia. Also on the event side of things, I'm looking at Coin Bureau. So Coin Bureau are running an event in London. That event is on the 7th of May. So I've reached out to the team already to see if there's any sponsorship opportunities. So I will give obviously the Bezoge community a confirmation once I've got that locked down. Hopefully I'll be able to attend in location in London. So I'll go and visit the family at the same time. So it'll be something to look forward to. I think also, I missed Carrie for a few days. So Carrie, welcome back. Carrie was doing an amazing representation for Bezoge at the San Diego NFT convention. So I'm sure Carrie can share a few details on that. And we've also been looking at a little bit of expansion within the team. So we've had 1 or 2 meetings with a great potential in the community. Something we're just looking to kind of finalize, but that'll help us specifically on a lot of the activations that we want to launch. So a lot of things moving forward. So as ever, keyboard warriors, Bezoge community, start practicing for smash carts. Also, this is going to be open to all staff. So I've had a few goes at smash cart last night. I'm pretty confident I'll make the top 10. I think Dog Lord was messaging me saying surely he's got a secured placement. I was like, no, there's going to be qualification and rule. So let's show the other communities what we're about. Look out for the rules coming tomorrow. So
yeah, it has to be an open pre-tournament to decide the top players out of our community. Mike, a little bit. He's been practicing about 7-8 hours a day for the last week. I caught up to him yesterday. In very short space of time, I was able to take on the leaderboard, but Mike only posted his winnings and not mine, so that's okay as well. But yep, it's gonna be an open tournament. We're gonna decide the top 10 from the community, from the top 10 best players, man. So yep, Shahid, waiting for the rules, ready to play.
Yeah. Get practicing tonight, and then, like I say, rules will come out tomorrow. Maybe the same time as the next 100 billion giveaway commences. I think normally 1 or 2 p.m. UTC. But any
Great.
questions, feel free to follow up in the
I'm excited for that one. I'm going to have to
Q&A
compete, I
session.
think.
You should.
I'm gonna cannonball you, bro.
All I know is I've
I think
3-starred every
you have
level.
bad echo.
I've 3-starred every level on Mario Kart, so hopefully, I mean, Smash Kart's a bit different, but maybe that experience will pass on to the other game as well.
I don't know about that, but I'm not sure.
There's a bit of an echo, I think, between Shahid, you and Steve.
Okay, let me
I think
fix
it's
that. Let me fix that. It's
Yeah,
me.
it's only you, actually. Yeah.
I
I think
fixed
we
it.
can move on to Benji.
Benji, you're back.
Is that fixed it? Is that echo gone now, guys? Just
I think so, yeah.
And look at that. I'm on the left, Zach's in the middle, and Benji's on the right in my little Twitter.
Your cats are looking at each other again.
Yeah, I still see a stare down going on.
Stare down. Benji, how are you doing, brother?
Yes. Hopefully my sound.
Oh, wow.
There's a
That
really bad echo.
was major.
I think, Steve, you should mute yourself.
There's
There's an echo from me.
I don't know, but we'll all just go on mute so Benji can fix his mic, I think.
okay.
I'm going to leave and come back.
Might be my mic.
Oh no, man, it's still a very heavy echo, Benji.
I think, Benji, the echo's coming on your end.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That new mic you got didn't work.
You should return it. You bought it like 2 hours ago, I think.
Okay. Is it?
Perfect.
Welcome back.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. The new mic didn't fix anything. It just made it worse. Okay. So yeah, for the development updates, like we have added like quite a few features in the last updates and few fixes. Right now the enemies are now moving on the map, so they're not just static and waiting, doing nothing. They're like just walking around, and makes the game already more interesting, more lively. There are like also like there's more on that is coming up. We're like making some basic AI for the enemies that will get better and better over time. Will improve that code, and there is so there's quite a lot coming for that. We've also done a few improvements on the controls. The things like the map stays open when you're running. They're like we've adjusted a few things right now. Like there were sometimes some things that inconsistent things that happened like for the heads of the player, and now it's fixed, and things are getting like already looking a lot better within the game, and the feeling is improved. And yeah, so like in the next few days, the main improvements that we're going to work on are like on the enemies and the combat system. So you can expect already some improvements of that, so to have like groups of enemies that can spawn together and that can attack you when you attack them, like as a group and not just as individual enemies that are scattered on the map. So this should make things a lot more interesting in the gameplay, and it would make possible stuff like areas like Bearish that will open soon once we have this. So that can be very challenging because you will have groups of enemies that you have to go through to to really enter the dungeon. So that should make it fun. Also, we've done a lot of progress on the weapons. Many of them have been designed and modeled. I don't have the exact number, but there's a lot of them, and they are looking really cool. And in the next few days, we'll show lots of these to you. And I think it's something that we've been working on very hard for our 3D designers and 2D designers have created lots of very interesting weapons, and we'll start sharing it with you guys, and you'll see it's very interesting. It's very cool. Right now they're working mostly on the other pieces of equipment for your helmets, armor, etc. And there's a few small challenges for that, but that shouldn't be an issue. And yeah, so we'll share more about this, but there is already a lot to see for the weapons. They're looking great, and
I think we can go over the weapons and explain how they work, Benji.
Sure.
We should give people a little, because we've done a lot of progress on the weapons, but no one really knows what we've done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So each weapon, it's basically like the Bezoges. Each Bezoge has different breeds, different attributes, depending on their DNA. And weapons are similar to that. So when you create a weapon, you choose, let's say the number of blocks for a weapon is, to mint a weapon, is 100 blocks. From these 100 blocks, you can choose which blocks you want to use. So for instance, if you want to create a weapon that has a good chance of being a Bezogian weapon, then you will use more red blocks. And depending on the blocks you use, your weapon will have different characteristics, and it will be of a different breed. So if it's mostly made of red blocks, it will be Bezogian. If it's made of yellow blocks, it would be Bezogian, etc. And that will affect its statistics, its characteristics. So, for instance, a yellow weapon will be faster, and things like that. And this will not only be in the stats of the weapons, but it will also affect them visually. They will all look completely different, very significantly different from each other, especially if they have a high level of purity. If they are they have a very strong, for instance, red block characteristic, then they will have lots of red effects that are kind of blood and stuff, and they will inflict more damage, and all these things will.
I think to break it down, there's a few different aspects of the weapons. There's now the breeds of the weapons. Then there's the individual actual attributes based on the amount of blocks that went in. Like Benji said, let's say the weapon costs 100 blocks. I could put in 50 red blocks and 50 blue blocks. And then if you read the wiki we wrote about it, we would randomize each number to make a number between 30 and 100%. So, and that would define how many of the blocks, and essentially would be the purity of the weapon. So the purity of the weapon can go anywhere from 30% up to 100%. And all that means is the stat boost that you get from the blocks that you put in, on top of the base stats of the weapon, would be based on the purity. So then we take the most dominant colored block, essentially. If you were to do 50-50, and let's say one turned out 49 and the other one turned out 50, so 98% and the other one is 100%. In this situation, then the color that was 100% would be the most dominant colored block that was used in the minting process. And therefore, the weapon would be of that breed. So if it was 100%, let's say 50 blue blocks went in and 49 red blocks went in, then it would become a shield Bezogian item. It basically the same as the Bezoge's work. The most dominant breed of the weapon in the attributes will become the breed of the weapon. And then we have so we have purity, which also affects the aesthetics, Benji, right? So purity, we have the breed itself. Then we have the rarity of the weapons, like common, rare, epic, legendary, and we also have another section called meme. So basically, we have that, and then on top of that, we have the 4 different characteristics within purity. So levels within the purity itself. So if you have between 30 to 50% purity, for example, you would have a sort of a level 1 within that purity level. There's 4 different, we don't actually call them level 1, 2, 3, and 4, but there are sort of 4 distinct visual differences between the weapons based on the purity levels. And basically all this does is makes the weapon look significantly better. Different levels of purity will have different attributes. Different breeds of weapons will have different base attributes. So if you have a Zerxogian weapon, it's likely to have a much higher attack as a base stat over let's say a Shield Zogian one. So other than actually increasing the stats based on the amount of blocks that go in, it will also have a different set of base stats. And then we have sort of animated textures on the weapons. We have different colored areas of the weapon, different textures and particle effects on the weapon. So there's a different particle effect for each breed. So as you're attacking enemies and as you're running around, the particles and effects that are coming off the weapon will be the same as the breed of that weapon. So if you're a Zerxogian sword, for example, there would be a load of red Zerxogian particle effects coming off it as you use the sword. So it would be very obvious, and the animated and sort of glowing aspects of the textures would be red as well, and have the Zerxogian textures. It's not just a flat red. There's an actual texture to it. So it makes the weapons look really unique. It allows people to actually create different breeds of weapons, and I think that once you see the system, and we write this we share the white paper, I think it will be really obvious what we're talking about. It's quite hard to talk about just on an AMA, but we figured that seeing as we've done so much on this, we should share it with everyone and let them understand exactly how the weapons work.
I'm pretty sure it went over a lot of people's head, because even though I know about it, it still went a little bit over my head.
Yeah, it's very hard to explain it's just me speaking like that. But basically, you have breeds, you have purity, and then you have different levels. So, for example, we would have I think in a very basic way. Let me quickly finish it. In a very basic way, we have different types of weapons. So, like a sword, you could have let's say, for example, the worst one would be the rusty sword, and then you have a regular sword, then you have a forged sword, then you have a great sword, and then once you get past great sword, for example, you have the memes, and the memes would be things like the green candle, or the short squeeze, the long squeeze, these sort of meme weapons, and they become the more legendary meme weapons once you get past the basic weapons. Because so far we've only really released the meme weapons, because you've seen the green candle, the hard fork, these sort of weapons. But realistically, in the game, at the very beginning, you're not going to be running around with these really cool meme weapons. You're going to be getting basic weapons like a rusty sword or, a forged sword, these sort of things. And so there will be a clear progression system within the weapons to allow you to have something to work towards as a player as well. I think once we have the white paper written, it'll be a lot clearer. But we at least wanted to share a little bit of a snippet into how the system works.
Sure, and when there will be some videos of it that we'll show in the next few days, it will be also a bit clearer already.
I think so. Yeah.
I was only gonna add, some look super cool, but some look proper grimy. I mean, some even I'm like, yeah, I just don't fancy getting hit by that nonsense, man. I'm just gonna avoid that.
Let's have some teasers, gentlemen. All right, because it's not only about hearing it. Okay, we gotta see it too.
Which one are you talking?
There's some real I don't know, man, but there's a lot of grime in there, and I'm like, I wonder who's drinking what when they're coming up with these weapon designs. Some look crazy, really.
Yeah, they're really cool, actually.
Cool, man. So that's good
Yeah.
news. We're going to be
I think-
dropping some graphics this week.
I think that the weapon that Shahid's talking about is maybe the margin call. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Oh my gosh, I really don't want to get hit with a margin call ever. Not even a pure 60% squash that. I don't want none of that noise. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the weapons will be like a big animation, and you'll be able to see it very soon. Besides that, we've like also working on a pretty big rework on the neutral land. So there will be lots of changes that are in progress. There's like we're trying like a few new things, and it should be a big and interesting update with a lot of new exploration to do. And so that should be really cool. But we'll show more images once it's ready. But like there's the bulk of the work has been done for that, but like there's still lots of details until we can really show it to the community. Besides that, for the team, we just hired a game developer with more than 15 years of experience. He's been developing games since before, for many years. Like he's working on the same engine for like 8 years, and before that he's been developing for a very long time, and is very like he has experience in similar games in MMOs, and so that will be an amazing addition to our team, and he will be starting by the end of the month. We also like interviewed 2 more developers today, and actually one is likely to join us for the back end very soon.
I was going to say, Benji, about an hour ago he accepted the offer, and he should be starting.
Oh, nice. Okay.
He's starting on Monday.
And I think
that's great.
Just to add, that wasn't a straightforward hire. That was someone coming in with with experience that really had to see what it is we're building, and he completely bought into the vision. So he understood the growth of really what we're trying to achieve, and wants to bring that experience to the team, which is amazing.
To give an idea, it was one of our employees' ex-business partners that is coming, and he was actually building his own game, and he came to the office and talked with me and the team today, and decided to just stop building his own game and work for us instead because he really likes what we're doing. Like, sort of gives you an idea of the extent of the project that we're doing. It's quite exciting once people understand what we're developing here. It's something very new, and that people want to be part of. So it's really exciting, actually.
I don't like to brag, but Bezoge will be the reason or the catalyst for the next play-to-earn narrative.
I hope so.
That's all I gotta say.
That's something I would say.
I mean, my Bezoge's dancing, so you can only be agreeing.
Okay, Benji, sorry.
To the community sections. Oh, Benji's done. I don't know.
Yeah, will you finish with the update, Benji, or is there more to say? Benji? I think Benji's gone.
Okay, I guess we lost him. Well, if he wants to come back in a bit and add anything else, we can go in, but I can go ahead and start my little section. Okay. So I've been away, but lingering in the background, still checking messages on Telegram and Discord. Like one thing Shahid mentioned earlier, we are working on, good solid influencers and YouTubers to help, go alongside what the big promoters and are doing. So I'm excited about everything coming up. Excited hearing all the news today. It's great. I with the events all weekend, I've talked to a lot of people, and one thing that so many people were saying over and over is how communities need to work together, and instead of being in competition with one another. Of course, that was the perfect opening line. Every time I heard someone say that, then I was able to say, well, it just so happens that we have this NFG game and the partnership with that and the collab. It's fun, and yes, we're competing in the actual tournament, but we don't need to feel like we're competing with other projects. We can still join communities, join forces, whether it be for the greater good, a charitable event, whatever it may be. So I just want to remind the community that, especially with this tournament and the NFG games we have going on, there's going to be people from other communities hopping into ours. So just remember to be welcoming and respectful of them. We want to continue, that Bezos family and uh, the education and, just I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm all over the place today. but but yeah, just with the community, please just remain respectful to everyone else that's going to be coming in from these outside groups. That's the first thing. And very busy weekend. I'll be glad to get back home. Um, but yeah, talked to lots of people. Everyone I spoke with, the people that know about Bezos, they love us, and they're either watching on the sidelines, waiting. A lot of people just want to wait to make sure the beta launches. Projects can promise and not deliver, and I think so many people have been kind of burned in the crypto space. So there's people waiting on the sidelines. They're not just going to take my word for it. Like, well, trust me. So there are plenty of people waiting on the sidelines, but they're excited. And I did get some feedback yesterday. I was on the gaming panel on Friday as a speaker at the event, and I got feedback from several people yesterday. At the end of the day, there were a lot of people that said the gaming panel was one of the best discussions of the entire event. So that made me feel good just knowing I was part of that, because it was educational. I did get to talk about Bezos, but they also threw just random questions to us. So I didn't know what the question, none of us knew the questions ahead of time. So it's just on the spot. And the education, just educating people about NFT gaming, and, these communities can come together in a cohesive, fun way. And so, yes, I'm looking forward to collaborations and tournaments. But all right, I've got a few questions. Let's see. First question.
Wanted to add something in there that I absolutely agree with you, Carrie. It's not just about trust. And that's why I feel like as we give out regular game updates, that's very important for the confidence of the gamers in the community. But also with the publication of the white paper, the team, which has become a very large team of so many in-house employees, I think that's going to really establish a lot more confidence in the community and all the holders that see that there's a real product backed by a numerous number of resources from programmers, coders, game developers, 3D designers, 2D designers. So I think a combination of both is very important. And I'm happy that people are waiting at the sidelines, because the people are in right now are going to benefit from the people when they move from the sidelines into our project. So yeah, generally, I just wanted to kind of add on to that, Carrie.
Yes, of course. And I know we'll get there, and we'll be able to you guys can say, okay, here, kind of mic drop to all the doubters and non-believers, but it's okay. All right, so a question, got a few questions from around. One question is, will this AMA continue every week indefinitely, or will there come a time where we may have to slow them down because of game development?
That's a great question.
I mean, I will continue to do.
Hello?
Yeah, you got cut off.
Chair?
AMAs are our tradition every week. I don't ever see a reason why they should ever stop.
Oh, sorry, I got muted there. I just realized. Yeah, I was saying we'll continue them as long as we possibly can. If it ever gets to the point that we have to continue them, discontinue them every week for any reason, it would only be that we would reduce the frequency a little bit, perhaps to once every 2 weeks or something like that. But we'll definitely continue them as much as we possibly can. I don't see any reason in the near future that we would have to reduce the frequency at all. It's actually something really that we really enjoy doing as a team. It's basically our time to catch up every week on a Monday, understand what the entire team around the world, because we have a global team. We have people in Philippines, in Germany, in Dubai, in China, in the US. We have people everywhere. So it's a chance for us as a company and as a team to get together, and the lead of each team communicate what they've been working on, everyone to understand, and then we just regurgitate that and share that out to the community, everything that we can share publicly. So this is something that we would basically be doing anyway as a team, is getting on a call once a week with everyone. So there's no reason why that shouldn't continue to be made public. That's the way I see it anyway.
I would echo that. I was going to say things move so fast. Tomorrow we could be having a conversation, and then already by Wednesday we want to commence with an activation. So having these weekly sessions kind of gives us a chance to just sync up as a team, or catch up, have a retrospect on kind of what worked in the previous week, sync up on development. How did the alpha test session go? And then, share with you guys all the exciting things that we're working on. So as things move continuously very, very fast, if we don't get a chance to mention it on the AMA, for sure, follow our socials. That's where you're likely to hear other announcements and updates otherwise.
Yeah, precisely.
Perfect. All right, next question. Do we have any updates you can share on the pets and if they're going to be rentable or not?
No big updates on the pets. We do actually have an article about the pets. Maybe Shahid can say a little bit about that. I think we'll be dropping that very soon. I know we have it already as a draft on the website, but it's not public yet. So expect to see an article about the pets, a bit of a backstory behind the pets. We will be releasing more lore and sort of backstories behind all the different aspects of the game very soon. So the first one will be the pets, then we'll have Bezogia, we'll have a whole load of the different worlds that we've already written some lore about as well.
A lot of the content is complete, ready in production, ready to be briefed. So we're just waiting for some artwork to complement the content, and then that'll be released on the site and in socials. So hopefully alongside a lot of the weapon content as well.
And quickly to answer the question before Dog Lord comes in, rental, at least in the beginning, pets will not be available to rent, but we may add that functionality if that's something that people would like. I think the pets are more to be collectibles at the moment. The reason, I think we've mentioned this before, the reason that we want the Bezogis to be rented, in the beginning, items will not be rentable either, like weapons. But maybe in the future, that's something that we'll consider if it's required. But the pets are to be collectibles and sort of a limited edition collection. And so we don't really want them to be rented out in the beginning. But if it gets to a point that we would like to rent them out and we have more pets available or something, we would maybe consider it. But I think in the beginning, pets will not be rentable.
Follow up to that question, and sorry, Benji, I'm going to put you on the spot. When can we play with our pets in Bezoge? I think a lot of us want to know that.
Yeah, that's. I think that should be fairly soon. I think the main thing is to have like really have the animations of each pet on point to make sure that as soon that we release it, it will already look really good. Otherwise, they might look a bit clumsy if we don't have the right set of animation for every pet. So that's the main thing that we need right now, and that should be available fairly soon. The coding aspect of it is, from what we have, it could be done very fast. But it's mostly the animation part that might take that just requires, because like it's an aspect we have like quite a few things we want to change for that, and it's yeah. So
would it be reasonable, Benji, to suggest maybe after weapons are complete and deployed that pets might be looked at next?
Yes, I think that's reasonable. I think the main issue is that we have people in house who can do some animations, but we need like that. The main, like, our team is almost fully complete for like the devil. Like, we had like really super experienced developers that are coming now. We have like a great team for like, they're super efficient for the 3D, the 2D. The only like missing HR part we have is like the animation. We need like a very good animation specialist. We've interviewed a few people, but we need someone a little bit like really experienced and stuff. And so our HR person is working really hard to find that. But it's quite difficult because we have high standards, and we have people who can do some animations, but we want them to be really good from the start, and not to be something like we rush out.
I think the main point is that the team that we have in house right now are focusing on combat and really improving the combat, which requires improving a lot of animations, and there's a lot of things to be coded out. And at the moment, that's being prioritized over the pets. So the pets will definitely be done by beta launch, and most likely within the next month or so, we'll be able to push out the pets, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We want you guys to focus on the main game. But I love my pets, but I'm willing to keep those aside.
I like to see my bulls walking around.
I can tell where Shahid is coming from.
Something else.
I just realized, sorry.
Oh my god.
I want to see how the apes are gonna move. That's gonna be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Next question. All right. Well, I know you guys have briefly discussed it before, but if you could recap the goals for the amount of players. So when beta launches, what goals do you guys have for the number of players we're going to have when beta launches? And then by the end of the year, what's your goals for the number of players?
I mean, the internal goal, at least at a bare minimum, we want to get to, the goal is at least 1 million daily active users within 12 months, to be honest. That's the goal that we have, the target that we have in-house as a minimum. And that I think that's quite a conservative target, to be honest, within 12 months.
I'd probably add the target market is already identified, educated, and the current active users in target market exceeds 3 million. So when we think about the top 3 or 4 markets that we will be targeting actively across all channels, and that's really where the localization and expansion play comes into play with the website as well, in terms of language expansion. Yeah, we're pretty confident with our growth plans and strategy we're putting behind it in terms of partnerships and expanding out our channels. We're pretty confident we'll be able to hit those numbers. Yeah, so we're looking at 1 million daily actives towards the end of year.
Exactly.
Or within the 12 months, I'd like to achieve end of year.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely achievable, especially with the sort of budgets that we have in place, without going into too many details about budgets. But I think with the budgets that we have, a million daily active players should definitely be achievable. No question about that.
Yep, I agree. Okay, well, I'm going to stop my questions there. We'll open it up to the rest of the community because I'm getting close to having to check out of my hotel and head to the airport. So I don't want to be in the middle of questions if I have to just leave suddenly. But if you guys want to open it up to anyone in here.
Okay, are there any questions? I don't see anyone with their hand up just yet.
Is everyone in shock about all that awesome news about weapons and enemies? And
Yeah, that was
I'm
a lot.
excited.
I think that was a lot to take in. I'm excited for the dungeons to run through that and struggle to stay alive. Basically, that's going to be fun.
So don't forget, let's do a recap, right? So we got the NFG, we've got the internal Bezoge competition for the top 10, and that will be having rights to represent the Bezoge community. That would be number 1. And then number 2, this blew my mind. Like I mentioned before, the Bezoge family is going to extend, and we're working through some of those technical components, but what we've got coming up, oh my gosh, really, 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 it blows my mind. So
Not only
yeah,
that, actually,
in
the
I would agree. Man. I've seen some of the behind the scenes, and I know the community is gonna absolutely love it. I
go
also feel like I put in the way in a summarized way today. It's gonna generate more questions, but guys, welcome to DM us. You're always welcome to DM us. Just allow us a bit of time to get back to you because we receive so many DMs, and it's always best if you can post your questions and just keep it ready for the next AMA. It just makes it easier for us to answer the question for everybody at the same time.
Yeah, and Carrie, don't forget, Carrie collects all the questions from the community from all channels. So there's plenty of opportunity throughout the week to get your questions through. Gives us a chance to prepare for some of the questions as well. So yeah, always helpful when you do send them through.
All right. We've got Paul up as a speaker. He has a question.
There'll also be some updates to the metadata, I believe, of the NFTs themselves to add some additional functionality. And I won't go too much into what functionality we're going to add. I think Shahid knows what I'm talking about. But there'll be some pretty cool updates that the two, I think 1 or 2 of our developers are currently working on. All I'll say is there's game developers that are working on the updates to the NFTs. So that's something that might give you a little bit of a hint as to what it is. But they're going to be really cool. Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Paul, with your question.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I've got a bad phone connection, so I hope it's clear. I have a few questions, but I'll run it easiest one first. Will we see the full trailer released by the end of this calendar week?
I could answer
Um,
that. We have been committed that we should receive the final version this week. Uh, but that was the same commitment we did have last week as well. We do know that it's 100% completed. It's just going through the rendering process. So yes, it's very highly likely you could see it by the end of the calendar week. If not, I think the worst case scenario is possibly next week.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's literally the 4K render. And just to explain, because it's a 90-second full trailer. There's a lot of detail, and every single frame has to be rendered in 4K. And this isn't conventional rendering like in Adobe Premiere, like you might do a YouTube video. This requires almost a mining army of processing power to get all of those frames rendered. So that there was the technical delay that's caused the delay in the releasing the trailer. So again, as soon as it's available in our hands, it's the very first thing that we want to get out to you guys. So no delays on our part. We're waiting for that final 4K render.
Yeah,
Okay,
brother. Though
so
it is
basically
highly.
what you're telling me is what I'm understanding, is that there was a lack of compute power. So you couldn't actually complete the rendering in time, or for whatever reason. Okay, got it, understood. Yeah, and I'm talking about cloud compute power.
Patrio,
Yeah, I understood. Yeah.
sorry, I can't hear you. So I think you finished speaking. I was reading the caption. Yes, it was a lack of compute power, mainly because the team that we had that were working on it were based in Ukraine. I think that we mentioned last week. At least the render farms that they had were in Ukraine. So we had some issues with getting the render finished, and that's why there's been delays. I also wish that we could just share the video today, but for some reason, sorry, not for some reason, but unfortunately we can't, and it's a bit out of our control to a certain extent. But we've been promised it should be here this week, so hopefully.
But we do know it's highly anticipated. So one thing for sure, a commitment from us to the community that as soon as we have it, without delay, we're gonna drop it. Like we're not gonna
Okay.
hold back. We're gonna drop it right away because it's highly anticipated. We know everyone's looking forward to it. So there's gonna be no delivering it.
It's such a great story for Legends of Bezogia. I can't wait to share it with you all. So, and it also just seeing that final cut. So yeah, as soon as it comes, I'll share it with you all.
Okay, we're highly anticipating it. Thank you. I have one more question, if I may. You might be able to answer it more confidently because it's in your control if you decide to do it. So, a little bit of tongue in cheek. I was having I put a message into Telegram regarding, for those community members that have been around since the beginning, and it was regarding the land that's going to be available eventually. Is there any chance that we could consider for those community members that have, let's say, been from the beginning, haven't sold one drop of Bezoge, that they could there could be an OG plaza or an OG lane or something like that. Not something that they could ever sell, so to speak, but just so that I can be a neighbor of Carrie or Bobby Bezoge or Sir Swifty or do you understand what I mean? Something like that.
That is a cool idea. I really like that idea. An OG lane. I like that.
Like almost
we never
having
thought about that, but I like the idea. I like the idea of doing that.
preferential neighbors.
Yeah, I wanted to build a home at the top of Triple Top, but I don't think that idea really went down. So, but the OG lane sounds really good.
No,
I like that.
I like that a lot, Paul, and I think that's a great idea. That's something I think we can definitely flesh out.
I think I really do like that idea. We're gonna put that down and see how we can make that happen.
Certainly, some way of rewarding the OG holders and the original community that were in here. We'll definitely work something into the game and something into the project to support that. whether it is the OG lane, like you said, or something else, we'll definitely work something in to reward people that have been here from the beginning.
Sounds great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for what you're doing. Loving it. Cheers.
Thanks for the questions.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay, do we have more questions? I think Mike is trying to ask a question.
Yeah, it looks like he lost his connection. So I'm gonna have to reconnect him. But Bezos Queen has a question, so we'll let her go first, I guess.
Hey, Bezoge Queen. Bezoge Queen, are you there? Is it just me that can't hear you?
Hey guys, can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I can hear you. Yeah.
Excellent. So just wanted to thank you guys and apologize ahead of time. I'm really nervous. So there's a couple of questions going around on Telegram, and we were just wondering, are there going to be any perks to staking for non-game players?
Yes, there are direct rewards. So we're also writing a full white paper piece about this, and there'll be a whole article about how the staking works. But basically, you'll get access to some of the on-chain transactions that are going on and rewards. So, for example, you may get rewards from people summoning. So all the blocks and all the Bezoge that is spent on summoning can be given as rewards to people that are staking. There'll also be a certain portion of blocks that we will release, the magical blocks, that will be released at least over the next 3 years, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but at least around 3 years. And we'll share the release schedule once we announce staking. But so there'll be the block rewards, and there'll also be rewards from things like maybe a portion of NFT royalties. There'll be a lot of the in-game profits, essentially, on-chain transactions. We'll be putting a portion of that into the rewards to the people that are staking. So staking is not just about getting benefits in the game, but you'll also be rewarded directly in form of tokens that you can
we
withdraw.
weren't supposed to say that.
Yeah, that's fine. And we like to give a few things away sometimes, huh?
Thank you, guys.
Did we reach 500 today?
Did we? No.
No.
One more quick question because the suspense is killing me. Any idea when the influencer partnership will be announced?
Shahid?
I'm thinking towards next week there'll be another update. I might release a few snippets in the week. But I think within the next 2 weeks, I'd like there to be a formal announcement in one way, shape, or form. It might follow the exchange type format where it might come from the influencer first, and then we echo thereafter. But for sure, in the next 2 weeks, I'd like to surprise you all really with a lot of the mechanics, and really announcing our amazing partnership. So I'm looking forward to kind of sharing that with you all.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much.
No problem. Thank you for the question.
All right, Mike looks like he's connected again. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, just had a quick question about the tournament and how are we going to go about the 10 people from Bezoge? Like, are we going to have internal tournaments and the best 10 will be drafted, basically, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, we'll keep it nice and simple, Mike. We'll probably run with the least amount of deaths versus kills. We'll just run it against the stats. So I hear you've been getting some practicing, right?
Y'all ain't ready. That's all I got.
Might just fall asleep
Yeah,
in the middle of the competition.
Yes, yeah. So get practicing after the AMA. I might come and join you, brother.
Okay. Cool. That's really all I have.
I think if you
Mike, I've been
keep the same room, everyone can just keep dropping by and playing and practicing as they wish. We just keep that one room and drop the link, and then we'll just kind of pin it. Then everyone can just participate, come in, play, try it out as they wish.
Do we have a
And
room right
don't
now?
forget,
Is there a room already right now?
yeah,
I
share
had
the
one
link.
open. I had one open yesterday. A bunch of us were playing on it, but you can create a room and make it private, so it'd be just us Bezogians in there, and then you just share the room number, and people can enter the room number or the link, and you can direct them directly to the room.
Yeah, let's do
That's
that,
what we
man.
did yesterday.
Let's do that.
Let's do that, and then we can share that in Discord and Telegram and a few of the channels. Just a reminder, it's the non-fungible games and it's Smash Carts, and we'll be up against lots of other communities, Tripsters, Hape, Loveless City, just to name a few. And some of these communities are huge, but we've got the most amazing products. So technically, we're superior. I'd probably say from a community and love perspective too.
And would it be PC and mobile or just mobile? Do you guys know about that?
I think it's just web-based, right?
Well, there's an app you can download it as well and play it on your phone.
So as long as it's cross-device, then and it's the same room, regardless of device, then
Okay.
yeah, we'll check it out.
Perfect. Zach, get some practice, man. You need to get better. Y'all have a good day.
Good luck. Good luck to everyone.
Bro, come on.
All right, Mistaf is next with the question. Go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I just had a follow-up question on staking. Are there going to be variable tiers to staking with regards to amounts and links of time that you invest in, like 1 month, 6 months, 1 year type of API returns? Or is that going to be defined in the white paper? Or
I think it's better that we publish it. I really do feel that it's better that we publish it, so it's quite clear, because the question you've asked is one, if answered now, will create 100 more questions. So it's better that we just, yeah, it's better
it's
that we
basically
answer.
asking when Moon, when Lambo. I got it.
Yeah. But yeah, the staking mechanism is part of the white paper, and it's going to be published so that it's clear for everybody whether there's going to be tiers, whether it's going to be short-term, long-term staking, and so on and so forth. So all of that, it's better that we publish it so that everyone can kind of read it and understand it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, man, thanks for asking a question, man. Any other questions you had?
No, it's I'm just glad to be a part of this community. It's pretty fun, especially during the alphas.
Yeah, it's true. Thanks, man. Thanks for that.
All right.
All right, we got Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
I also got Nicola
Hello?
on the stage. Hey.
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I got a quick question regarding the NFT collaboration. You said that it was limited, but can you advise how limited? And also, as Bezoge holders, will we have opportunity to buy? And if yes, how do we know how much they're gonna be minting for?
Great questions. More information to follow, but there will be definitely a chance for participation based on the numbers. Yeah, it's extremely limited. So, but there will be some, like I say, there'll be some mechanisms to allow for participation within, for sure, within the Bezoge community. But yeah, there'll be quite a lot of demand. So this is going to be really, it's going to be a hot extension to the family. So I will make sure that Bezogians, as members of the community, have a great chance of participating in the extension.
Okay. And another question, please. And how does, let's say, create a new NFT cozy, as Shed said, how will this bring more eyes to Bezoge? And once the mint is done, what is stopping people to walk away, let's say?
I think without giving much away now, let's wait until we do some formal announcements. I think as a team, we speak in our actions in terms of what we produce. And I think by going by the merits of the game production, our expansion within the team, I'd like to think that we've got something significant, credible, and something that has legs. And as mentioned before, everything we participate and engage in, we truly believe it's the right thing for us, for our community, for our overall vision and journey. So it plays definitely a big part in our expansion. And I think the desirability of having a chance to have something that, I think it's going to be extremely desirable. But like I say, maybe give it a week or two with a bit more information to follow. And I think, maybe we'll have a review then.
I understood. And lastly, if I may, just without giving too much information, obviously, just is this a gaming, sport, or music in type of person? This individual? I don't want to, obviously, I don't want to know who it is. Just maybe.
I'd leave it open to the imagination.
Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, Scott, go ahead with your question. Can everyone else hear me? Or is it just Scott? Maybe he's having some issues.
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you guys take over. I have to hop off here and go check out so I can catch my flight. I love you all. I will catch y'all this evening in the community.
Speak soon, Carrie. Safe travels. Cool. Do we have any more questions? Can you see Zach? Or Jeff?
Sorry, I think I just joined. I just joined back in because I got disconnected.
The AMAs as well, so that there is more fluency in
And I think I joined.
Hey guys, can I ask a quick question?
I think I joined on the wrong account and kicked Doglord out. So apologies to Doglord.
Yeah, possible. My friend.
Okay. Good. Quick question. My question was in regards to the utility of the Bezos token in game. So I haven't been able to play alpha myself, and I've been watching things and everything like that. And as far as the Bezos token, I know that it's an ERC20 token. And from what I've been told, the Legends game will be on Polygon. And I know that the in-game tokens.
Dr. Akib, just to keep it a little short, I'll just detail out the agenda. Okay, so even if you guys want, you can continue a little bit. So Naseem, Dr. Sakib.
Zach, can you pop yourself on mute, maybe? Apostles? Oh,
I'm
sorry, buddy. Hold on.
I'm here.
You're back?
I don't know where it
Okay.
cut off. Um, Basically, I was just wanting to know, as far as the Bezos token, is it going to remain like an ERC20 token?
My connection or if you keep...
Yeah.
In terms of, will it remain as an ERC20 token? If I heard the question correctly, is that right?
Yeah. In regards to what I overheard was, I came late today, so I just wanted to ask, anyways.
No
I don't know
problem at all.
if the game was going to be built and established on Polygon blockchain with the NFTs going on Polygon, how that was going to work out and be compatible as far as like summoning goes. If the Bezos token is going to have to be migrated, or if we're going to have a secondary contract.
Maybe I can give you an answer on that.
Super.
So we're not fixed to be just a single chain project. We want to be multi-chain. So the fact that the NFTs were sold on Polygon.
I think
Sorry,
you can hear okay, right?
Yeah, I keep.
Yeah, so I think maybe just to recap, maybe if I go along
No,
there.
I can hear.
Oh, okay, but your
I
mic
keep
is. Sorry, buddy. Give us just a second.
I keep getting muted. Okay, did that fix it?
That's better.
Yeah, I keep getting muted automatically. I don't know what was going on. Okay. Can everyone hear me?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So basically, we're not fixed to one chain. The fact that the NFTs are on Polygon, we may bridge them back over to ETH. We may bridge them over to another network, something like Immutable X. Maybe we may use, but they're not fixed on just Polygon. The game will also be multi-chain. It won't just be on one chain. So within the game, you'll be able to choose which network you want to withdraw your weapons or your characters to. You'll be able to withdraw them to multiple chains. So the reason for this is maybe, for example, in the game, you might have some very low value weapons that you want to withdraw to the chain so that you have them as NFTs in your wallet and you want to claim ownership of them. At that point, if you have very cheap weapons, let's say the very basic weapons like the rusty sword or the rusty dagger, these sort of very low level cheap weapons, it doesn't make sense for you to withdraw those sort of weapons onto ETH. But you might want to withdraw them to Polygon or BSC, for example, where there's low gas fees. So that's something that you could do. But the higher level, more high value weapons, you may want to withdraw them onto a more secure chain, something like Ethereum. So when it makes sense and you have a weapon that's worth thousands of dollars, it makes sense for you to pay maybe $100 of gas fees to mint it onto Ethereum. But the lower level weapons, it may not make sense. So we want to support both sides of that because, of course, we want people to take ownership of the weapons that they have and have them on chain in a decentralized manner. But again, we want to support several chains and not restrict the user to only be on one chain. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that actually answers it perfectly, because that was my number one concern. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could just imagine someone trying to, to cash out or to to sell something, and here they go with a $12. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, because if you've got an early level, let's say like a rusty sword, that yes, you own it and it has value, but it probably only has a few dollars of value because they're so common. You do want to have it as an NFT in your wallet, and you do want to withdraw it from the game, but it doesn't make sense to put it onto ETH, onto the Ethereum network. Like ERC would just be very expensive, and the gas fees would most likely be more than the value of the NFT itself. So in that case, it makes more sense to withdraw to a cheaper gas fee network like Polygon or like BSC, for example. But then you want like I said, you want the security for those higher level weapons because they're worth a lot of money, then the Ethereum network is probably the most secure of them all, and that's the place that you would most likely want to have it. Okay, are there any more questions? Nope. Shahid, can you hear me?
Yeah. All good.
Okay. There's just no question.
That's
I thought I was
fine.
my connection's been awful tonight, so I
No, all good now.
when there's silence, I assume it's my internet connection.
No problem at all. I think also there weren't many questions from the community from Carrie's side, but hopefully we'll have quite a lot of questions for next week, no doubt. And obviously, any other questions that come up, as ever, Telegram, Discord, Facebook, feel free to reach out.
Okay. I think we can then end it there. Thank you everyone for joining. Apologize for all the connection issues that we've had on our side. I think most of the people that are on here every week are used to our bad connection issues. So hopefully we'll manage to find a good solution for that in the future. But so far, everything we've tried doesn't seem to work very well. But that's just unfortunately how it is. Yeah, but we look forward to. We've got a lot of stuff coming this week. I think hopefully there'll be a lot of updates coming on socials. Shahid, a few articles about the pet Zogis, maybe even some content about the worlds. We're also actually, one thing that we didn't mention, we're actually fully reworking the neutral zone. And that's something that...
Yeah. I saw a glimpse into wow.
Yeah, we did. We realized that all of the worlds looked so good, and bullish and the neutral zone needed a bit of an update. So we decided to sort of rework that. So maybe we'll share a few images of that throughout the week as well. But yeah, there's a lot to come.
Yeah, Benji, I'll be following up after. Yeah, need all those weapons, brother.
Sure.
Good man.
Oh yeah,
And
the weapons we'll share very soon as well.
We need a new streaming board as well, so I can hear Sir Swifty already shouting, "Hey, brother, send me a new streaming build." So
I just tuned a streaming build on Discord, and you'll see it's good.
Cool.
But don't hesitate to test it a bit before sending it.
You already shared it? You already shared it, Benji?
I just sent it to Shahid.
Okay, send it to me, please. Okay, guys.
I'll send it to everybody.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks
Happy
everyone
Monday.
for joining, and we'll see you next week.
We catch up next week.